Academy of Vocal Arts today to our program. And representing the AVA is Mr. Richard Troxell. Richard!
So glad to see you guys have brought some culture to the world.
That's right.
How exciting.
And we have you to thank for that. You've been here in our studio before.
I have. It's been the highlight of my career.
There we go. Honestly, we had no doubt.
Right? Exactly.
We're doing what we call the Pep Rally Concert Series, and we're having musical friends come by and give us their version of the Eagles fight song. And we're going to do that in a little bit. We'll talk a little bit first. And maybe you guys, can you do something besides the Eagles fight song as well this morning? Do we have something prepared?
Well, we don't have anything prepared, but we can wing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah.
That happen a lot in the opera world?
Oh, most of us have. We just walk on stage and they go, "Can you sing this tonight?" And that's what we do.
Sure. I assume that a lot of times during an opera, someone, hey, Biaggi.
Yeah. We're doing Rigoletto and somebody says, "Hey, you got something from Butterfly?" That would be so much better.
Hey, do you know offhand, by the way, what the definition of an opera is? I mean, there are musicals, but what's the difference between an opera and a musical? Is there?
It's a question that's asked all the time. So typically in opera, everything is sung. So there's no spoken word in it, right?
All dialogue is sung.
All dialogue, traditionally. But then you can get into all these phases. There's operetta, and then in some of Mozart's opera, there is spoken dialogue. But it's sort of the form of the music in which it's a classical kind of music, because you could say that Les Mis and Phantom are operas.
Right, or like Joseph and the Amazing Technical Dreamcoat.
But the style is called the American musical style. So that style is, it usually it's more of a rock sound, a more popular sound.
Right.
Whereas opera tends to usually have a full orchestra that's accompanying it, not a pit band.
Okay.
Something like that. And then, but we do, like in a traditional opera, we sing the whole thing.
Okay. How about languages? Does an opera singer need to know Italian, need to know German, need to know these?
So when you say need to know, yes, we all study French, German, and Italian. American.
She was shaking her head no behind you.
But do they know it really well? We sing, like I sing in 8 languages. I'm sure LaTanya has sung in
Singing in those languages and knowing them are 2 different things, though, yeah?
Yes. So we sing in those languages. We learn it phonetically, like I sing in Russian, but I don't speak Russian.
Okay.
But we do study enough of it. If you're doing an Italian opera, French opera, you study that score so you know what you're saying.
Okay. Because you do need to know that.
Of course.
How do you,
to emotionally...
Yeah, how would you perform if you didn't know what you were saying?
Exactly.
And also, I think the revelation, I think the last time you were here, the inclusion of subtitles.
Yes,
for
which
the
has
audience.
changed the opera world considerably.
What took so long,
Exactly.
Because
like, what were you thinking? Everybody wants to come in here, a bunch of syllables up there for 3 hours?
But you want to be dialed in because the stories are classic stories.
It's fantastic that super titles, subtitles at the Met, they're right on the chair in front of you. It's really cool. And you can change that to Spanish, German. I think that's it.
Pig Latin?
Pig Latin, because Ixnay, that's fun say.
He knows it.
Yes, of course.
No, I think that's great because it makes it more accessible. I think that's always been, for many, it's a roadblock. My dad listened to a few operas growing up, and I did enjoy them. But again, knowing what's going on sure helps.
Well, they're great stories.
Yeah.
And it's what's fun about super titles is sometimes if it's a funny opera, somebody puts out the punchline way before the super title before you're like, nah, man, you just screwed up my
You killed the
bit.
joke.
You killed my bit.
Yeah.
Richard, do you think with social media, with its pros and cons, is helping what you guys do and expanding the knowledge of operatic music?
A lot of opinions on that. Yeah. I think yes. I think that more people know the word opera. They know what a tenor is because of the 3 tenors from 1990, so that's been around a long time. There's a lot of controversy sometimes about whether Bocelli has helped or not, but people know who Andrea Bocelli is.
Yeah.
He sings a lot of opera stuff. The opera world feels that he would not necessarily be an opera singer on a live stage, but Andrea has done that. So
that he could. The perception is he wouldn't be able to cut it.
So the big difference between opera and everything else you talked about, Phantom, we do not use microphones.
Okay.
So opera is the last naturally acoustic vocal experience you're going to have in a huge theater.
Hence why you need
that's why we
facility
sing
that's acoustically correct.
Correct.
Right.
So when you go see Les Mis or Phantom or Joseph, they're all being mic'd. And so they can sing like this.
Losers.
Sure.
But we have to, we have to fill.
You
the Met is 4,000 seats.
What's the argument against somebody like Andrea Bocelli?
You mean compared to an opera singer?
Yeah.
Well, here's my analogy.
Hygiene?
No. He's a wonderful person.
No.
I think it's the difference between softball and Major League Baseball.
Oh,
All right.
Okay, so if you go see professional softball game, it's amazing, right?
Right.
But it's different than trying to hit a Major League fastball.
Well, here's the other thing. Like if I'm, an 8-year-old and sitting on the couch on a Saturday morning when I'm a kid and I see Bugs Bunny singing an opera, it might turn me on to it a little bit, right?
That's
and
right.
so I'm of the belief anyway that any exposure is probably good for the art.
And that's what I agree with you on that. So it's really, I think it's great that more people go see it and they see it. It's tough when someone says, I'm a really good running back and I play flag football.
Right.
Or I'm playing on Sunday.
I'm Saquon.
So, right.
Yeah.
If you're Saquon, he's like, yeah, you play football, but I play football.
Right.
So when we hear that, sometimes you're like, yeah, you sing opera with a microphone and all that stuff. Well, we sing opera. I'm just
I get it.
saying.
No,
And there's a little bit of that.
And then as well there should be. But do you get, because Nick mentioned the cartoon crossover, do people expect during like the Barber of Seville for someone to have a lawn grown on their head live during
I know, I love it. Like when people think we all have spears and you're huge in a helmet and we're doing that. And we're not. They say
It is.
There are a few.
I will tell you this: to be, and having seen one or two, performances in an actually acoustically correct opera theater, it is something to behold.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's nothing like it. And when every time I've done, even like I'm sure I've done like a flash thing where you're doing it in a public space. I just did it. I was up at Fox Chase Cancer Center this past week and helping volunteer for something. And all these people were eating dinner, and somebody said, I hear you're a singer. I'm like, are you any good? I go, all right, I'm right. And then I sang O Sole Mio, and their eyes just pop out of their heads because they're like, I had no idea it was that.
Oh, he's good. Where's my sponge cake?
It's an acoustic experience that they're like, wow.
Yeah. No, it is. No. Very
Again,
good.
like you said, like in sports. Yeah. When I've sung national anthems, I'm like, oh, I'll go see these guys. They're huge. They're so fit. They're so different.
Richard, are you warmed up right now?
I think we are. We have
no,
a
just
beat?
you. No, before we
Me?
get that, I want to see if you could give us just a little bit of that O Sole Mio that you mentioned, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely.
All right.
But I need to sing it to someone.
Sing it to Kathy.
Kathy.
Yep.
Kathy, you ready? I'm going to take this.
I always wanted to be a singer.
You ready?
Yeah.
Che bella cosa una giornata e sole, n'aria serena dopo una tempesta, per l'aria fresca pare già una festa. Che bella cosa una giornata e sole, ma tu sole, più bello ed è, o sole mio, stan fronte a te, o sole mio, stan fronte a te, stan fronte a te.
Beautiful. And
People, that's 8:30 in the freaking morning.
And that's so appropriate because in that particular piece, he's admiring his lover's forehead. It's so beautiful.
Kathy's very proud of her forehead.
People.
Yeah. What is that from?
That is a Neapolitan song, so it's not from an opera.
It's not from an opera.
Yeah, so these songs that came out of Naples, and they're really popular Italian songs.
I just know these bits and pieces about opera,
do.
and that is it. So, like Pagliacci.
Pagliacci is an opera.
And there's a really famous song from that. Oh, wait, you sing it? Okay, they were looking like, I do it.
What are the words?
Ridi Pagliacci. Everybody knows it from Seinfeld.
Heart wrenching, yes. Yeah.
Ridi Pagliacci.
But
I love that.
There's a moment in that where he's just pouring
Vesti la
his heart
Giuba
out.
is the aria, and he's just been spurned by his wife, and he's the clown, but he puts on the face, and the tears are coming down because he has to be the clown, and he's crying.
Yeah.
Vesti la Giuba, put on the clothes, but
Wait, maybe if I took off the clown makeup, they would respect me.
and we're all old enough to remember No More Rice Krispies.
Yes. Yes.
What are some of the more challenging pieces to tackle, whether it be male, female, whatever your range is, it doesn't matter. What are some of the legendary ones?
LaTanya, what's your most challenging piece? So this is LaTanya Moore.
Hi, LaTanya.
Hi
She
there.
sings all over the world. She's one of the premier sopranos in America.
Wow.
In your studio, people.
Wow. We're on.
And
it.
she's
Yeah.
at the Met singing all the time. And what would you say is one of your most challenging roles you've done?
The most challenging roles might be the ones that I've had to do in English.
Yeah.
Because I'm trained as a bel canto Italian opera singer, so having to sing in your native tongue is not nearly as easy as it is to speak it.
So some languages do lend themselves because they're lyrical by nature.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because English, the structure of the language is built on diphthongs. And that's not something that happens so much in Italian.
Those little ice creams you can buy in the mall.
Yeah, you dip.
Oh, yeah, totally. You know,
My
full of
kids
dip
love
and
those
dive.
things. Diphthong is what they use in the South. It's called a triphthong because diph means two vowels. Like when you say the letter O, you're
Right.
saying O and oo.
Right.
Okay. That's not, O. But when you say in the South, they go, oh.
Yeah.
Because, you know.
I want to ask you something about that. Are there, for you personally, are there certain vowels that are easier for you to sing than others?
That's a great question.
Yes, it's
now,
a very good
tenors,
question.
I love an E vowel.
Okay.
Same.
And
Me
so-
too. And I noticed
easier to sing.
I sing in my car.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that the E for me is way easier and sounds better coming out of my mouth
Yes.
than
Your
other
gob.
vowels.
How do your
And the-
passengers feel? Do they like that?
I usually sing better when I'm alone.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
No,
the reason why it feels better and easier is because the vowel is more forward. If you're singing E, it's a very concentrated sound. If you sing ah, then your sound is dissipated, right?
Okay.
No matter what. Although a lot of people prefer it, especially if you're soprano, because the higher you go, the more space you want, you know, in your mouth as you're singing it. But for
That's
me, I love
fascinating.
closed vowels.
That's fascinating.
And some of them are physically easier to do than others.
Yeah,
the vowel signs, depending on the shape of your
Yeah.
own.
And depending on how high or low you're singing.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, the higher you get for tenors, we like when she says forward, it's like it's right. We call this the mask. It's like right up there.
You said you're a bella canto. Is that what you said?
Bel canto singer.
Bel canto.
Yes.
What does that mean
It
exactly?
means beautiful singing, basically very lyric. Always singing almost like on a violin bow of sound. Smooth, connected, legato, beautiful, lush singing. That's what I like. That's what I do.
I do
Most of
too.
us here do.
When this woman sings, you're like, I'm on the floor.
Imagine if, that approach will work throughout life. Just talking like that.
She's very expressive in the way she speaks
Yeah.
as well. Could we get just a little sample of your voice of anything you feel like singing real quick?
Oh my, it is indeed.
I know
early. Let's see.
You don't have
How
to
about
You
the
don't have
Dukes
to-
of Hazzard?
Yeah.
You know, Caruso said, I don't spit before noon.
Yes. Yeah.
But you don't have to get into your upper register
Oh,
or anything
really?
like
All
that.
right, let's
no.
see what I got.
Whatever you like.
Non feci mai male ad anima viva con man furtiva con delisare conobbi aiutai.
My
Our mics couldn't even handle it. It's amazing.
I know I had to bring the levels down a little
Three
bit.
You know,
Grammys for a reason, baby.
Yeah, baby.
I think what happens is
In the AM.
you have a little collateral damage from the fact that opera's a go-to for comedy a lot.
Yeah.
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 So then sometimes it makes it hard for people to just say, no, you can just enjoy this for what it really is, because our minds go to as Nick was pointing out, every Bugs Bunny cartoon and every Seinfeld episode where it figured into the comedy, but it can really move you.
Oh my gosh,
yes.
it's such the trope to make fun of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
funny, but like I have friends I've been singing for 30 years. These are my college friends. They still mock me every time. They come, they're like, how you doing? And they go, no. Every opera you sing things like no.
That's what friends are for.
Oh, I love them
my.
so much.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because before I was an opera singer in high school, I did classical music and jazz, but my friends would also make me do things like sing operatically or classically. So I used to just sing anything. Phone book, it is the phone book. Grocery store, it is the grocery store. You know what I mean? Oh man, they got a kick out of that kind of stuff.
Richard, can I ask a dumbass pop culture question? Because
there's no such.
in I think it's Batman Begins. They go and they see an opera, and it scares the crap out of little Bruce Wayne because there's all these bats that are flying around. Do you know what that opera is? Because I never understood what the joke
Well,
is.
so Fledermaus is
Fledermaus.
Fledermaus is, which means flying mouse.
Okay.
Which
a bat.
It's a bat.
Right.
And it's a German operetta. It's a comic opera about infidelity and being a cuckold and all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. But it's not really a scary opera, but maybe.
But it scares the little
The
kid.
imagery
only
scares
opera
him.
that's going to have a bat in it. So for Batman,
Totally.
What about Bat Lake, the other one?
Bat Lake, yeah, that's a good. They dance it, but
Trying to think of other pop culture opera moments.
Oh,
There's,
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck.
Moonstruck,
Okay.
See
yeah.
Moonstruck, it's one of the best.
Yes.
Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman, they go
Yes.
see Traviata because Pretty Woman really is sort of the story of La Traviata. A woman who is a woman of the evening.
Yes.
And a very
Gorgeous and-
wealthy man.
Sure.
Yeah. And
I did not know that.
Moulin Rouge is also like La Traviata.
Okay.
And
Opera's
Rank.
in everything you see. Every ringtone, not every, but so many ringtones are opera. So many of them. Carmen, the Toreador. Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da, and da, 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 da.
The Can-Can.
That's
Yeah.
it came from Orpheus and the Underworld.
Also
an
ShopRite
opera.
commercial.
Yes.
That's right.
ShopRite commercial.
Yes.
If you like
Wedding
canned
song,
food.
Here comes the bride.
canned food.
There you go. That's
Yes.
So, Tanya, you've won some Grammys?
Oh,
Three.
yeah. This is
What?
Grammy.
3 Grammys.
Yeah.
I have.
Wow.
What did you drag her in here for?
What were the categories? What'd you win for?
Best opera recording for the Metropolitan Opera. And coincidentally, they were all operas and jazz. Because like I said, I started as a jazz singer, and these Grammys are all for Porgy and Bess, Fire Shut Up in My Bones, Champion, all written
wow.
by jazz composers.
Porgy and
goodness.
Bess
Wow.
is excellent.
Oh, it sure is.
Yeah.
Jazz singer. How's your scat game?
It used to be real good. I mean, I haven't sung scat for like 27 years. So.
Okay. Do you guys, obviously you mentioned a couple of different formats, jazz and opera. Do you pay attention to contemporary singers, popular music, things like that?
Absolutely.
Who are some that are impressive to you?
I love Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
I think Bruno Mars is one of the most talented people.
I agree.
And I think Lady Gaga is unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, it's
As
a
a-
funny
as-
thing. Yeah, go
Well,
ahead.
I think that we get this idea that, they are just these pop people who didn't have to work really hard. Anybody who makes it to that level has worked their ass off.
Yeah.
I mean, really hard in their art form.
Yeah.
Whatever they've done. They have a different life than we do, but they've worked really hard and they're talented
And
people.
I have to say, these two specifically that he mentioned, Gaga and Bruno Mars, are the type of singers, when they started, they were good, but they became great because they worked on their technique. They wanted to grow as artists, and they did just that. They're beautiful examples.
I used to brush off pop singers until I started. You know who actually kind of changed my mind? It was from years and years ago. Was George Michael. And I sat and listened to some of the stuff that he did. I'm like, my God, this guy is
sing,
a
baby. He can
phenomenal
sing.
singer, right?
He can.
Yeah. So,
And they have a different measuring stick of what's great for them.
Right.
Well, like you can't fake being an opera singer and like make a career of it. You can be a pop singer who's not very good and have a career.
right.
It may not last.
Yes.
But you can't do
You have to
it's just-
appreciate
Good
it.
point.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's the same with jazz musicians. You can't fake being a jazz musician or a classical musician. You can fake being a pop. I can grab a bass guitar and learn 3 notes and stand up in front and do that.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Same with rock. Like a punk person
Right.
can kind of get away with not being a great musician per se, but
And
they
then there
can
are
still have success.
There are the greats.
Well, the people who commit
They're
to
all
their
the
craft,
greats.
like Milli Vanilli, for example. Those guys, amazing.
Yes.
I'd like to point out everyone else who is here. So we have Lydia, Juliana, Katie, Luke, Jeffrey, Kumar. Is that how you pronounce Kumar? Kumar. And Raul. Where is everybody from? So we don't have all Philly natives here, right?
No.
Like far from it.
Yeah, I'm from Istanbul, Turkey.
Istanbul, Turkey.
Yes.
Wow, excellent. How about you? You back here?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
All right.
Albuquerque.
Skokie, Illinois.
All right.
Tacoma, Washington.
No one's from Philly. Okay, you.
Grafton, Wisconsin.
All right, and
Veracruz, Mexico.
So, of course, they're going to know the Eagles fight song.
That's right.
Yeah,
Opera is a very international career. That's the other great thing about it. We sing all over the world, and we know so much of the world and everybody around us.
It's great.
And Latanya, I didn't get where you're
I'm from Houston, Texas.
From Houston.
But
nice.
I've been in Philadelphia since '99, so go Birds!
And she's wearing green, too.
Look at this.
The gentleman from
I am
Skokie.
wearing Eagles green today.
What's your name from Skokie?
I'm Jeffrey.
And Jeffrey, do they have any barbershop quartets back there in Skokie, Illinois? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The Music Man.
That's a usual suspect reference.
Oh, is that what that's from?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
They're also from Gary, Indiana.
Oh my God.
So, Richard, how many people altogether in the Academy of Vocal
At the
Arts?
Academy of Vocal Arts, 23.
Okay.
Yeah, 23 artists. They're called resident artists, and they come from all over the world.
Clearly.
And
Obviously.
the school was founded in 1939.
Right, and we are having a big celebration.
That's what I
coming
hear, a
up.
90th anniversary.
90th anniversary on March 21st.
Okay.
At the Kimmel Center,
Yep.
our 90th anniversary. So the big concert, the gala concert, which features a lot of great AVA singers, people who have had big careers, and people who are still at the school. These are two of the singers who will be there, Latanya, myself, and
How cool to be an aspiring singer and to be able to be along the likes of these.
that's something
Grammy
about
winners.
AVA
Yeah.
that I've always found that it's a family, it's a home that we all come back to and
Right.
support. And so if you can come March 21st, anybody's invited. Just look at avaopera.org and give them a call ring. And then there's a huge gala dinner starts at 5 o'clock that you could come to, which is if you want to really show off, it's a good time. It's a great time.
How does one become a part of this group?
A part of
AVA.
Of
Yeah.
AVA. So you have an audition process. It's kind of like a tryout for the. Again, I always go back to sports because I like
Right.
sports. You walk on that field. You walk into AVA. You sing 2 arias, and they go.
And then you run through tires.
And then you run through tires.
Sometimes.
You do your sprints. And then
Would you call it art? Would you call it obviously to have a pedigree, to have a quality? You have to keep it.
Yeah.
How would you rank it compared to other audition processes for other?
It is the same as a professional opera company, in my
Same,
opinion.
okay.
Or if you're doing a professional opera competition.
All right.
You know, so because the Academy of Vocal Arts is not just a school, it's also a young opera company. So the idea is that when you come into the school, you are an artist immediately.
That's very cool.
And as we all are naturally students
Yeah.
throughout all of our life, I mean, I still have lessons. Just had a lesson days ago. You know what I mean? You're a student forever, but when you come into the Academy of Vocal Arts, you're treated like an artist. It's a grooming school to prepare you for an actual career, as opposed to other schools that are more run like a regular educational institution. We run it just like an opera company. That way, you get out into the real world. By the time you get there, the real world is ready for you.
Yeah,
and
and you're prepared.
for it.
A lot of
Yes.
times they don't throw in those. Here's the real world. Here's this. When you're looking for employment, here's what you're going to encounter.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
I would imagine it's difficult to have as your sole income as an opera singer. I mean, if you're great, and you're going to make your living out of that.
You know, again, I go back to sports. It's like, are you in AA, AAA, or are you in the major leagues?
Right.
Everybody's shooting to be in major leagues. Most of the people coming out of the AVA, a lot of them are major league singers.
Okay.
And so, yeah, we have careers. And I've only been doing this for 30 years. That's all I do.
Right.
And I love when people go, so what else do you do?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you ask Saquon? Hey, so what else you do?
You still doing that singing thing?
Yeah, that's what they say. Or you're singing, if you go into church, you're like, you should do something with that. Oh, thanks. I'll think about that.
Totally.
I know. We get the. You still doing that radio thing?
Sure you do.
It is my most hated question.
Right?
And when they add thing at the end, I want to punch them in their teeth.
Oh, well, you don't get troop. So what's your little troop you sing? Oh, come on.
How insulting.
Yeah.
Oh my
You still
goodness.
that hobby? What's that thing?
Yeah,
you
what's that thing you
Oh,
do?
God.
Yeah, we understand.
Well, listen, we're ready. We're ready to get the performance that we requested upon you guys. This is our Pep Rally concert series. We're having a variety of our musical friends be a part of the program, be a part of the excitement of the week as we're headed to the Bourbon Street and the full Super Bowl. We are having various people come and perform the Eagles fight song. A little later on this morning, Lizzie Hale is going to be joining us from Hailstorm, so we're very much looking forward to it. But right now, the Academy of Vocal Arts is giving us their rendition
Y'all
of the
ready?
Eagles fight song. We are ready, man.
It's going to be big.
All right.
Okay. Ready?
Fly, eagles, fly, on the road to victory. Fight, 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 eagles, fight. Score a touchdown, 1, 2, 3. Hit 'em low, hit 'em high, and watch our eagles fly. Fly, eagles, fly, on the road to victory.
That's big.
No more of a grand fashion could we come up with than that.
What the hell else can you do?
Good luck, everybody.
My goodness. So, tickets, if people would like to go to this 90th celebration gala, it's going to be Friday, March 21st, and it will be at the Kimmel Center. What's the best way to get tickets, Richard?
avaopera.org.
Okay.
Or you can call 215-735-1685.
And a question, I know you guys are students and work really hard and you have professional shows to put on, but are you available for hire, so to speak, if people want to, bring you on board?
Always.
Are you kidding? We are
Just call me 555 for some radio work. No,
And will you also sing?
maybe.
Oh my God! Well, you guys are wonderful. Thank you for coming by here this
Great
morning.
pleasure always to be
Thank
here.
Love having
you.
Latonya. Pleasure to meet you as
Oh,
well.
man,
Thank
same
you.
here.
And every single one of you. Thank you guys
Yes,
for being
thank
here.
you.
And
Let's
good
hear.
luck with that singing thing.
Let's hear it for the Academy of Vocal Arts, everybody. We're gonna take a break. We'll come back in just a moment. So stay with us.
Preston and Steve.
And she just walks up next to me. Her desk is directly next to mine. She